All right. What I've got. Hey, folks. Welcome to the always a little odd. Okay. Beep, beep. Yeah, okay. I need to do that. Hey, folks. Bright red cheeks. Sorry. It's just kind of one of those days. Welcome to Restore Belief with Nikki. Don't know what we're going to talk about. There's a lot of things that have gone on. Welcome to those who are in chat right now. There was 4 and 5 and now back to 4. So, welcome. Grab a seat and a cuppa or a glass of wine or a bottle of beer, whatever it is your preference is for this evening hour, since it's 12:07 a.m. Pacific time. What, ladies and gents, would you like to discuss? I am open. And hit me up. Let me know you can actually... Okay. There we go. Let me know that you can see and hear me, folks. Hair, Nikki, your hair looks different. Yeah, my hair looks different because I tried to curl it. It's a little on the offside right now because I didn't have time to do what I wanted to and fully get it into whatever. Anyway, that, and I didn't get my haircut this weekend. I can see and hear you. Oh, thank you, Black Dragon. I appreciate that comment. Thank you. Okay, gonna hit mute for a minute because speaking of cuppa, I need my seltzer and that gets loud. So we can. Yay! Awesome. That done. Now we get to pour. All right. So what did you guys... I got my tulip mug. So if you know Washington State... Okay, maybe this is not probably the sound of seltzer. Anyway, late at night. Hopefully you don't have to pee because of that. Anyway, so Madam Tulip. Hey, Michael, welcome to my chat. Yeah, anyway, so if you know Washington State, there's a number of locations around the state during the month of April, March, end of March through April, and sometimes into May, where you get tulip fields. Different people do tulip fields. And so one of my favorite places is Mount Vernon, Washington. And this is one of the artwork. This is a piece of art that the community... Oh God, I can't think of what they are. It's a community group that allows artwork specifically for the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival. Anyway, cheers. Oh my, that's lemon. I forgot which one I grabbed. Okay, anyway. Well, that got the pucker power. So, ladies and gents, what would you like to... This is open because there was a need for it. For those that are new or who are just finding me, oh, Black, you have Dr. Pepper. We'll get coffee later. We won't be going that long, dear. So, yeah, for those that are new to my chat or new to my... one hair sticking straight up. But, of course, isn't that how it is? Yeah, and now we just made it worse. All right, over. Well, that's better. All right. Anyway, I hate it when it's going. Anyway, guys, so if you are new, the reason this goes on at midnight, my time, or 12:15. It just depends on when SOR, spaced out radio, ends. And I'm doing this once a week, typically Wednesdays. Although I have done it Wednesday and another day during the week, mostly because there are a lot of people, anywhere from 5 to 15 different people come in to chat with each other because they want some place that is okay to sit and talk about anything, almost any, well, I don't want politics in here, guys. um so that is my one thing. But other than that, um and everybody is welcome, even those who I don't get along with, but my one caveat is you have to be respectful to each other and you have to be respectful to me. If that is not possible, then I will boot you. So, and boy, has that been a lesson. So as long as you guys can be respectful to each other and can be respectful to me, you can be in here. Yeah. And smart ass remarks are typically okay. Usually. I do have a sense of humor. Depends on the mood I'm in too. So, and I think that goes with anybody. Anyway, so a lot has gone on, paranormal wise and with me, and I've been helping a number of different people, not a lot of different people, but a few. And one thing that keeps popping up is that people are having, what I'm learning is that with these, not just few people, but what I'm hearing from others, is that they're having a difficulty in communication. And it doesn't matter if it's male to male, female to female, male to female, female to male, either any of it. But there's also typically high energy revolved around it. And high energy can really change frequencies, can really screw with what you're trying to communicate with. So, and sorry, I got my dinner. It probably looked really gross. It's actually really good. It's a piece of beef with some sauce on it. Anyway, so, but in the camera, it probably looked really gross. Anyway, I do apologize. So I just want to take the time to recognize the fact that there is a lot of high frequency and a lot of high energy going on right now. There has been, really since the middle of, I was going to say September, but I literally just got told the middle of August. That's a long time, middle to end, like the third to fourth week of August. That's a long time for high frequency to be going on. So just make note of it. Make also note of what you want to get across. And so instead of going full tilt rage and anger, think about what you want to get across to folks. So how you want it presented, how you want things worded. And the other thing that I'm also learning is that, and there's a lot of people with this one. I mean, we're talking more than 20 people I know. Health issues. So get checked out. Whatever is going on, make sure that you're all up to date with your doctors and whoever you look into. Anyway, all of that said and done. Anything paranormal that you guys want to have me talk about tonight? any specific subject. For whatever reason, I keep picking up, like right now, I'm picking up Dogman. Somebody wants me to talk about Dogman. I don't know why. I'm no expert, and I'm not an expert on this stuff by any stretch of the imagination. But I do have a little bit of experience here and there. And supposedly, according to some people, not a clue, Black Dragon. Supposedly, according to what other people are talking about, there are both good and bad. Sorry, somebody literally on the other side just said Demon Dawgs. And Demon Dawgs are very different than what I know of as, and what I have seen through a Sasquatch's eyes, allowed to be seen through a Sasquatch's eyes. Dogman, very different. So Black Dragon just asked Nikki, what do you know about the gypsy face rot? Not a clue. Not even, that's the first I've ever heard of that term. And I'm not picking anything up about it, but for whatever reason, okay, so I guess anyway, for whatever reason, I've been led to talk about Dogman, and I don't know why. Maybe it's for somebody that will watch this later on. Don't know. So regarding Dogman, the one specific hardcore incident that I was involved with was on somebody's property. We have talked about it publicly. The gentleman has given me permission to talk about it publicly and rather openly and all of that, but I always have a hard time doing that sometimes. Well, a lot of times I have a hard time doing that. I don't like revealing people unless they specifically reveal themselves. And for damn good reason. So I've gotten nailed for doing that, and I don't mean, even when I've had permission, I've gotten nailed by the general public, let's put it that way. Yes, Black Dragon, Semper Fi, dear. You are the Marine, correct? Correct? Anyway, oh, that brings up stuff. That phrase, actually, Black Dragon, brings up a bunch of stuff. Anyway, so what I do know is that about Dogman, the one specific one that I've seen through Sasquatch eyes is, hey, Hollow, was really quite scary. Willing, no problem, to be violent, and huge, bigger than the Sasquatch in the area. I mean, just wow. And the claws. And so I do not know why the other side wants me talking about that, but I was specifically asked to, and internet, you better stay fine. Had some problems earlier with internet. Nikki is also a podcaster. Did you all know? Yeah, I was on AM radio. Tim, meet my son. Son, meet Tim. Since, then I think everybody else knows that that's my son. So anyway, point being is that ready to party. Oh my God, yeah, right. Sorry. So these these things, if you really want to know the conversation about that situation, about that Dogman story, because I can tell it till I'm blue in the face, but everybody else is going to get bored stiff over it. So uh, stop that. And so, yeah, S4 wasn't on tonight. Cole took a break. But yeah, Dino Ghost. Yeah, that was last week or 2 weeks ago, Tim. I think. I think it was 2 weeks ago. But yeah, we've had some very interesting conversations on S4. And S4 used to do for, I believe it was like 2 or 3 years, S4 was on a Washington local radio station. And so they would give them the information, and we would have a 2 hour radio show. And then they got out of doing that because of language. So, and that, and the fact that it was taking them too long to watch your flipping language, Mom. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the funny thing is Hollow can tell you, I didn't have a potty mouth when he was growing up. It wasn't until he was mid-teenage years, and that's when the potty mouth came out. So, yeah, and by the time he hit his 20s, yeah. So, so anyway, yeah, and he also knows how much I love. I was very involved in my kid's life, and even the teenagers liked coming over, and we had a big house at the time, and they had basically a game center downstairs. Yeah, shut the door. Yeah, Grandpa, my grandfather was the ghost of the house, as was my step grandmother, but mostly my grandfather. And there were times when my son would have parties, and I I would holler down the hall, shut the door. um so and then there were times where my grandfather would close it, the ghost of the house, and he was not necessarily he's not an earthbound spirit. He's crossed over and he's come back, but oh, don't get me started, Hollow. So anyway, so there are stories like that, and there are stories where and I know I haven't gotten back to the Dogman situation, but regarding that, go in to the different description boxes through the other chat, or the not other chats, but other live broadcasts that I've done, and you will see when it's talked about. And that way you can figure out, that way you don't have to listen to every single one. You can go in, look at the description box, figure out what you want to hear, and listen to that section. And you could have multiple different sections. So, oh, it's not creepy. Yeah, Grandpa's come in here periodically, and he'll sit and I don't know what it is about the older men, the older gentlemen who like I've got a recliner that rocks. And what the hell is with the rocking chair, folks? There's so many spirits that love coming in. They'll sit down in the recliner, or if I've had a rocking chair available, and they will sit and rock like crazy. I mean, I grew up with that. I was 6, 7 years old in this. I had to think about that a second. I was trying to think of how old I was. I was trying to think of when Mom and I went into that house. the house where I remember some interesting ET abductions. But anyway, the point being is that there was a woman who had died, and that's where she wanted to be. That was her house, which is interesting because I just recently saw a new picture of it, and it was a rambler, and now it's 3 stories, and I'm like, whoa, boy, did they add on to that. So that's been a mind bender. I wonder if she's still there. But she would go into the basement and she would sit in a rocking chair, and you'd hear the and wow. You'd hear one set of rocker hit the front end, and then it'd go back and you'd hear the back end hit and it was a cement floor in the basement. So that was her place. That's where she was okay with, because it was nobody was around that area. I don't know why she liked it down there. Anyway, but yeah. Anyhow, I come in peace. Anyhow, excuse me, finally. Sorry, guys. I do apologize. So yeah, Black Dragon. I've got a couple of friends who are, yeah. You're in southern Michigan, Para. I didn't realize you were in Michigan. Had my grandmother's rocking chair. Yeah, oh, stop it. My great uncle, the wood carver, I had asked and then begged and pleaded if he would make me a rocking chair for me and my son, and it wasn't an ordinary rocking chair, it was a glider, because that way it would be silent on the floor. And I was like, I'll pay you. And he's like, nope, not doing it, Nikki. And it and I understood why. I mean, I totally got why. So, but yeah. First, Hollow says good, but the first few times I've seen him, goodness. Now I embrace it or question why and give warm and fuzzy vibes. Right on. Yeah, it was probably a shock because that was your great grandfather, Hollow. And oh my God, Michael. I'm not commenting on that one. You want to see the chat? See the chat. So yeah, my grandfather, that was his great grandfather, and the two of them used to play chess. I remember when we were in Nevada. We brought the chess the chessboard and the carved pieces, and the two of them would play chess. And he was 7 years old at the time, and my grandfather used to cut him some slack the first year, and after that it was like, oh man, this kid's good. So I remember a comment like that where my son was asleep in one of the bedrooms that night, or one of the nights, and us adults were out on the deck in because we were in Pahrump, Nevada, where my grandfather had property, and we were out on the deck in the evening, and he's like, he's gotten good. He's gotten really good. Like, yeah, he has. So at the time he was playing chess in tournaments with other kids. So yeah, he got really good really fast. Anyway, I'm babbling about my son. And the interesting thing is, you'll finish your food. Now that's son protecting mama. Yeah, you know me very well. I haven't finished. I haven't even really begun, actually, but that's beside the point. But I wanted to come on here and get this get the ball rolling. We've been on here for 24 minutes, so came in earlier than I had thought. So special. Oh, you smart ass. Anyway, licking windows. Oh dear God, no. Anyhow, so welcome to the 10th person, whoever is the 10th person. If this if the broadcast, if you like it, if you like the channel and you like the if you like the channel, if you like what you hear or what is talked about throughout the different broadcasts that I've done, please give a like, hit the like button, share it out if you so choose, and hit the subscribe button. I'm hoping by the end of the year to have 100 subscribers. And that'll be my second year. That would be a huge accomplishment in my second year, because I was in the 28 to 30 range, and since the beginning of the year, it's really we're up to 90 something, I think 92 or 93 or something. Let me go in and check for sure. 92 right now. So yeah, please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Anyway, now who has the potty mouth? yeah, he's being that's polite. So actually no, he does really well. Anyway, Derek. Hello, Derek. What do you mean I envision my big fist across someone's grill? Oh dear. Y'all barely know me. Yeah, my kid's good. He's so anyway, speaking of which, we need to go do some shooting practice, kiddo. I don't know when. Yeah. We need to do some shooting practice at some point. So I want to be sure to get that going again. I've got to since they've done my hands, I've got to work on my shoulders now. So I want to be sure that I can still do my target practice on bullseye. Yes, you do like to have fun. Anyway, I'm babbling. Boy, am I babbling. I'm not even babbling a good blue streak. We got to talk about, I don't think Saturday's possible. We'll talk about Friday, this Friday. I know we were all supposed to get together, but we'll talk about this Friday. So, which means I've got to get off of a night schedule. That means a day and a half to get off of a night schedule. That's going to be interesting. So yeah, because you like to go early in the morning, and I don't blame you. Anyway, so, and yes, I do know how to handle a weapon. So, hey, Susie B. Oh, thank you for that, sweetie. I appreciate that. Buenas, Michael. That second to last word. So anyway, yeah, text me more info and gardening in here. Anyway, so welcome to the 11th person. Grab a cuppa, a glass of wine, a bottle of beer, whatever is your choice. Oh, somebody just said bourbon. Okay. Ten-hour split. Yeah, I remember. Let's not talk about that here. It's one thing to talk about the. Yeah. So, anyway, I was gonna say Bigfoot. That's not what I meant. What the hell were we talking about? We were talking about, it wasn't Bigfoot. Oh, Dogman. So go back in, check out the Dogman information. That is the refrigerator popping. If you could hear that, that was really loud for out here. So anyway, and I don't know why it's popping. It shouldn't be popping like that. Do you? Okay, Para. Okay, so Para is asking, do you know the folks who whisper in your ear? Yeah, it's burping. Yes and no. Some of the folks that whisper, they don't necessarily, well, some of them whisper, some of them are quite loud because their own energy is, their frequency isn't where mine is at, and so they have to yell. Oh, good to know, Hollow. And so basically, sometimes it's, I've got 3 different spirit guides. I've got a main spirit guide who is my dad, and not to be messed with. And I've got 2 other spirit guides, and then I've got an ET spirit guide. And then I've got an ET who is a living ET who acts like a spirit guide. Oh dear, hang on a second. Sorry. Anyway, so that makes life really rather interesting. And then you've got, or I've got, spirits that come in periodically. Like my grandfather was here all day and all night with me a couple nights ago. And I had, I'll get into that in a minute, Susie. Thank you for telling me that. I didn't know that. I was in and out of that chat tonight. So, but yeah, it just is what it is. Then see, I'm losing my train of thought. I think that has to do with not eating. So Susie B says, Nikki, the boys were blasting your channel all over. Yeah. That's fine. As you know, I'm willing to talk about whatever subject you guys want to talk about. Usually we have a lot of questions. Between Paramarv and Derek and Sovereign. Those 3 are usually, and see. That's a very good question, Paramarv. Getting back to Dogman, any idea or impressions if the Dogman or Dogmen are natural or if they were engineered? I literally heard some of them are engineered, and then some of them, I don't want to know that. They mate. I don't want to know that. I didn't even know they were female. I don't want to know that. That would make them hybrids. I do know that if you talk, yeah, I will hollow. I do know that if you talk to our Keith Andrews, he has talked about the Dogman being like a pet from another race of ETs. It's a gigantic big pet. I can't even fathom. I mean, it just and they're gigantic, so I can't even begin to imagine what the race of ET, how big it would be for that to be a pet. Because the Dogman that I witnessed through the Dogman that I witnessed through the Sasquatch, this one specific Sasquatch's eyes, that I was allowed to see through his eyes, it was just enormous. The amount of muscle, the kind of claws, just terrifying. Truly terrifying. And weird hair. That's the other thing. It had weird, I want to say fur, but I can't because it was like strands of hair, and in some ways it reminded me of the Demon Dawgs that I know that are on the other side, that are not physical, although I'm sure if they were allowed to be, they probably could be, but that's beside the point. So sorry, I just read something I probably shouldn't have. Anyway, okay, I've got top chat on. I did it again. Somebody's always got to remind me. I need to have it on live chat. No laws with the claws. Yeah, definitely. Whoa, hello. What did I just hit? Okay. No. What the? Off. Thank you. What I am trying to do is click on that. Okay, so I think I am missing. So hopefully was it Para? Yeah, hopefully Para, that answers some of your questions. Yeah, I just did. I turned it over to live chat. Anyway, hang on a second. So, too funny. So I need to get my phone away from that and move this. Do that. Hang on one second, guys. All right. There we go. This is just part of business. I totally forgot. Okay. So, a couple of pieces of business. Anyway, okay. No, I don't know who. That's the thing. I don't have a freaking clue as to who. So Para's just asking if they were engineered or even tweaked. Any thoughts on by whom or why? Why could be an easily. Hey, Simon. Hey, Shell. Um, could be anything from they wanted muscle and power, to doing all sorts of um, hardcore damage. I mean, think of it this way. I mean, if they're a dog like, well, not if, but since they are a dog like being, um, then you can train them to be a specific way, as in killers, unless that's actually bred into them. Like there are some animals that are known to be excellent hunters. So, it definitely leads into a bunch of different questions as to what is actually taking place. Um, who are they being used against? For what purposes? I mean, it goes into a wide range of subjects. I mean, seriously. Um, so, mm. So, Michael, what part of the world are you in? Are you in Canada or the US or the UK? Not the UK, the Europe or um, South Pacific, or where are you at? Planet Utah. Ah, I do understand. So, Paris says, I don't know. From the stories I've heard, they don't sound like they would be very cooperative. They sound like they would have a pretty foul personality. Yeah, I know. And I would have said that of the Demon Dawgs that I personally know. But wow, they've got a very loving, caring side, although I'm sure I'm going to get nailed by the other side for saying that. But they I mean, well, they do with me. I mean, a lot of beings usually are pretty nice and kind around me, um, but then some of them have a very different uh, attitude around others. So um, I know when I met the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and let me tell you, that was a wild ride, and no pun intended. Um, that was Wow, wow, it was a mind bender. It was just a utter and total mind bender over that one. And they were as kind as they could be, I think is how I'm going to say that one. Um, one of them was rather gentle, but also had quite an attitude, but yet at the same time, um, was very legalist. They all four were very, very legalistic. Um, Did they say when they are coming back? No, because that wasn't the goal of. Simon the Likeable is asking, did they say when they are coming back? No. Um, that wasn't the goal at the time. There was another specific goal at the time that was more higher priority. Um, and typically, when different beings from the other side, because I've had Michael the Archangel here, I've had um, boy, I've had a lot of different angels here. I've had a lot of different beings, a lot of different royalty hierarchies. I've had wannabes. And I mean, I've dealt with a great deal. So it just makes things very interesting. Um, What did I miss in? Yeah, I haven't been in Fade to Black in quite some time. There's some things going on in chat that I'm not going to talk about. Anyhow, I'm getting too easily sidetracked. So hang on a second, guys. I'm gonna face you up at the but you're still welcome in chat. But I'm gonna face you up at the lights for a moment so that I can get a bite of food in, because apparently I need to eat a little bit of something. So, well, you'll see my art stuff, but there we go. And maybe down just a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to hit mute for a moment, but I'm still here. Band candy? Michael, is that as in Buffy? You're watching Buffy? Do tell. Ah, okay. Thought we had there's a lot of different things I really enjoy. And Tim, as soon as you get your passport, you're on your way to what country, dear boy? Um, Oh, I know a number of people who smoke. Ozzy. Oh, really? Well, there's one couple and two fellas I know in Australia. Really good folks. Yeah, there's a lot on my bucket list too. Places like England for specific reasons, and Italy, and Australia, and New Zealand. Spirit or an entity, Hollow? Hollow is saying, I saw an entity the other night right before bed. I welcomed it verbally and mentally. I meditated for a while. Eventually, it went out the window. Yeah, the place you live at, I'm surprised you're not having, you're in a place like I am to where you've got a lot of people. Spirit, yeah. So you were being checked on. I already know who checks on you. You want to have that conversation, let me know sometime. But yeah, there's others that come through, different family members come through and check on you. And grandmother, when she is in astral, when she's asleep in an astral, she'll come in and she'll check on both of us, which is always interesting. So she likes to play in loved ones' dreams, let's put it that way. Depending upon how she's doing mentally. There's always that. So here's something for you folks. What I learned about my mother with Alzheimer's and regarding when the veil in the mind is stripped away. Oh, hang on a minute. Okay, so when the veil in the mind is stripped away and we no longer have that barrier. So my mom, as most people know, has dementia and Alzheimer's, and she lived with me for a while. And what I have learned is that because that veil is gone in the person's mind, and anyone who has that veil that's gone, that secure, it's like a security barrier in our mind. When that's gone, we have no ability to be able to prevent ourselves from being able to project. And when you project, that can be visually, and it can be how you talk in your mind versus how you're talking out loud. And I found that out with my mom being telepathic, and knowing that I've been telepathic for years, well, all my life actually, but I didn't register it until a long time ago. But anyway, point being was that, and I have a very, very high ethics standard regarding telepathy. So I'm one to, hello to the 13 who are in here, who are watching, listening, and to those who are in chat. So we've been going for 54 minutes. Have a seat, grab a cup of whatever you want, and a bite to eat, and all of that. Anyway, point being is that with Alzheimer's and dementia, what I've learned is that if you are telepathic and you have a family member, a loved one who has some type of dementia or Alzheimer's, where that barrier, 14 people now, where that barrier is gone in their mind, and you have abilities and you open up your own abilities, or the person projects so much because they're either in a rage or they're going through something dramatic or traumatic for them at that given moment in time because they don't understand, they don't comprehend. You might want to highly consider putting up every barrier you've got in your head, because if they're projecting, they can actually overwhelm you. I've had that happen with me on a number of occasions with my own mother. I had bits of, excuse me, I had tiny bits of it as a child with my grandmother, but my grandmother didn't have it's interesting. She was classified as one thing, but she didn't have a bunch of the other things that I've seen with my mom. So I think hers was very different in comparison. It does not run in the family. I know that. But I do think there are factors in that. But if you are an empath, if you are psychic or a medium, and you have a loved one who has Alzheimer's or dementia or some form of either or both, be on guard. Protect. Don't just do the normal stuff for protection of your energy barrier, but do the protection of your mind in a hardcore way, because you can get overwhelmed real fast. I've learned the hard way. There's been I've had quite a conversation on this channel before about that. I'm not going to get back into it in all of it because it can get dull and boring for a bunch of folks, and I don't want that to happen. So go back in if you're truly interested. Go back into the description boxes on every one of them of the live broadcasts and go through it, and you will see ALZ is short for Alzheimer's. Then there'll be a slash and then dementia. Hey Nathan, welcome, honey. Glad to see you in here. So if you know and understand about those two illnesses, just be forewarned, because as my mom used to say with different family members over the years when I was growing up, it's like peeling back an onion, layer after layer of an onion, and you get to the core, and when you get to that core, they're at a very specific debilitating level mentally, and it can cause problems, not just in the grand scheme of things in the healthcare and the all of that, but mentally for the person and with you if you are an empath or a medium or a psychic. Just be on guard a little bit more than you normally would be. And if you're like me, you might find that you've had to increase anytime you're around that person, fivefold or stronger, and you may have to combine those techniques that you knew about, and then add some more into that to protect yourself mentally from them, because they can actually overwhelm your own mental capacity in their emotions and their everything that they're feeling. So it can be very daunting. It doesn't happen to everybody, but if you've got somebody who's very strong, just that's a forewarning. I just want you to be aware of it. and to take note of it, because it can happen. And anybody who says it can't, they're blowing smoke up your wazoo, because I'm here to tell you, I've experienced it and I have seen others experience it. So for some reason, I'm literally being shown a hospital room, and a different situation than my mom was in. And I'm literally being shown, because my mom was in and out of hospital with her health due to one illness or another. And yeah, you battle it every day, Michael. I'm very sorry. I truly, I understand this very, very well. So if you're a healthcare worker, or if a professional healthcare worker, or if you are somebody that is living with you and you're dealing with that, just be on guard. So anyway, back to this hospital thing. I was literally just shown, I don't know why, but apparently somebody here needs to hear about this. So when my mom was in hospital on one specific occasion, we had a creepy crawly come into her room. And what I mean by creepy crawly is I found out later that there was a specific room that all the nurses on the entire, that wing and another wing, knew about this one room, and that this one room, they tried not to put anybody in that room unless they absolutely had to. And that room always had problems. So I'm not saying, I've never said what hospital. Those that are very, very close to me know what hospital it is. And what city and all of that. So here's the conundrum. In the room, it's the middle of the night. I'm awake because nurses were checking on my mom, which of course wakes her up. And I needed to be there because of her Alzheimer's and dementia. And it makes it was making the healthcare go smoother for my mom and for the nurses. And that was a big deal to me. It was a very big deal to me. And I'm on my phone. I look up, and a nurse had just left. The door was still open. And she had gone to the nurse's station. She had turned around, and as she's turning around, this black thing on the floor comes in, crawling kind of like a centipede. I don't know how else to describe it. But it was long, but yet it slithered like a snake, but yet had legs. And we're talking, excuse me, we're talking, hang on a minute. Tape measure. This thing was about, hang on a minute. 24, 25 inches in diameter. It was big. It was long. Had legs to it. I'd never seen anything like it. I was definitely paranormal. And if memory serves me correctly, I was literally on a video call with I think there were 11 of us in that video call at the time. This was me coming down from the day that I had with my mom. I was spending about 18 hours at a time at the hospital on that specific session. And the nurse had come back over and had closed the door. When she looked up at me, she smiled and she'd come back over and she closed the door. And I waved to her and I thanked her and I looked at this thing. And then she went and did some other things. She was doing her rounds. Yeah, at least 18 hours, says Hollow. Yeah, there were times I was there for 2 or 3 days at a time and wouldn't leave her side. But this one specific situation was pretty severe with these beings. And I kept them on the phone on video. And I went around the room. I mean, after that, I started carrying gemstones with me with my mom. And I was covering my mom and the room in gemstones in a very specific way. And they were cleansed. They were sterilized as they were going to get. And because of germs, and I didn't want germs and all of that. But it was a big deal. Needless to say, I was able to get rid of it. And it was a morpher. It was a shapeshifter. It literally shapeshifted from what it came into to crawling like a human on fours, but the legs were different. They were doing this kind of thing. And it literally went from this long thing to this big thing. And I was like, oh, no, you do not. You will not come in to this room. And I cleared the room. And actually, don't remember if I've actually verbalized this or not. I blew it to smithereens. Let's put it that way. And I'm hearing it's no longer in existence because of what you did. And it was instantaneous. It was natural abilities. And it was a really big deal. Let's just put it that way. And then it acted like a spider at one point because it didn't just walk across the floor. It went up the wall and then up over the ceiling. And then everywhere I was putting energy, clearing energy, it literally, I want to say, hung in the corner, farthest, same corner, same wall as the door, but opposite end of where the door was, but up in the corner of the ceiling. And these people were on the phone with me at the time where they had witnessed and heard what was going on. I kept them on headphones so that, and I walked through the room so that their voices could not be heard through the room, but they could see what was going on. And yeah, that was one of my experiences with a black something creepy crawly. And when I found out from the nurses about what was going on in this other room, I cleared the entire wing of that hospital. And I was like, no, not on my watch. No way. Excuse me, it was after that I found out that in the basement of that specific hospital, or the basement and the next 2 or 3 floors, there were issues. And there were a lot of issues. And whenever we ended up at that hospital again, I wasn't able to clear the hospital, but I was able to clear different sections of it. And it was rather an interesting situation. So hospitals can, those hospitals can be legitimate creep vibes, says Hollow. Yeah, they really can. And I don't put up with a lot. There's certain things that I'll allow, and then there are other things that I'm just like, no, you're not effing with my family member. You're not screwing with somebody else. You're not going to feed on somebody who is ill, who is here to get healing, who is here to get help, medical help. I don't put up with that. I will not. That's where I draw the line. And man, so whenever I enter a hospital now, I used to have things like there was a time where I was sitting in a waiting room, totally different situation, different time with my mom, actually different hospital. And mom was actually sleeping really well for the first time in a while. And I went out into a waiting room, which was, I don't know, about 500 feet from her door. And I had called, actually, a friend was texting, a girlfriend was texting me, and we were talking back and forth, and she asked to call me. And I was going to say I called her, but I don't think that's, I distinctly remember her calling me. And as we're on the phone talking, I'm literally hearing something come up the hallway. And the hallway, and on this specific level of this section of this hospital, the hallway was at an angle, a pretty significant angle, and it came up, and it was going up, 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 and then it leveled out right where the it's not an arch, but right, it's like a walkway, doorway type of area, to where the waiting room was, this waiting room area that was like a conjunction, a 4-point conjunction. And I could feel this being coming up, and I was like, I think I've got a wannabe coming up. And she was like, a wannabe? And so I explained what a wannabe is, and sure as shit, that's exactly what came up, and they came right at me, and they were this far away from, and I was like, can I keep you on? I said, I know this is not something you normally deal with, but can I keep you on the phone the entire time that I deal with this? And she was like, yes, please do. I want to see what happens. And there was it was a weird kind of fake light that they were projecting, trying to project around themselves. And I remember looking at this thing going, you will back the F away from me right now, or I will get in your face and you will not like what I do. And then he starts, and I'm saying he because that's what the energy felt like, was blustering and all this BS and everything. And I remember hearing her say something to me about that she could feel the energy coming from this thing and how dangerous it was. And I'm like, I don't care. You're not going to cut. And basically what I learned because of that situation was that the beings in this specific morgue area were feeding on people who had light in them. And the whole situation is one of those creep factors. When you learn something new, it's like that creepy, crawly, swishy, slithery. It's the word that I wanted to say. That it was the same thing. It was like, oh, uh, you just, you learn something you don't ever want to learn and know about. And it was the same type of situation. And I learned that that was exactly how I learned that beings that are like, and I call them wannabes. These are wannabe demons that are not full demons, and they take over a millennia to over 1,000 years to become a true demon. Actually, they take multiple millennia, but they're in their infancy stage, basically, when they're 900 years old, 1,200 years old, 2,500 years old, which to us, I mean, this thing, I'd have to go back through my notes, but I think it was somewhere between 15 to 1,700 years old, or 15 to 2,500 years old. I don't remember which right now. It's been too long. But it's because of him that I learned about how they feed on people that have a light coming out of them. They literally, they suck it. It's like they're an energy vampire. And he was there to literally suck on me. And I was like, huh, like hell. No way, not gonna happen. And he wouldn't leave me alone. And I literally, I said, you ask the other side what I can do. You ask the people that you know that are other wannabes what I can do. By myself, do you want to take me on? Because I can get as vicious as you can, if not more. And I wasn't joking. I mean, I was like, you don't screw with me. And anybody can do this. You don't have to be somebody like me. The thing is you can't be afraid. You have to know what you can do. You have to know where it comes from, how to use it. Anybody, any human being, any ET can do this. You can't, off-worlder, you can do this and call this energy out. This comes from you. It doesn't come from everybody, it comes from you. I'm not going to describe how I do it because there's government asshats who want to know how I do it. This is what I say to you. But everybody else, you can do this to protect yourself. And if I were not a psychic, if I were not a medium, if I did not have those, an empath, yeah, they're going to feel it. They're going to feel something's really bad around them. But I actually saw this coming. I actually saw him coming up the devil bird. Just like I did with that driver that one day on between Nevada and, God, he was funny. Gave me the double bird. Gave me and your grandmother the double bird. And it was like, we're in stop and go traffic. It wasn't bad. Yeah, government asshats. Yeah. Anyway, so I just and I shouldn't have laughed. I should not have laughed, but it was incredibly funny. It was stupid. He was actually really stupid with what he was doing, but he was really, really funny. You are your mama's daughter. Yes, I am. I love you too, Hollow. Yeah, my mother had a mouth on her, but not the kind of mouth that I do. Anyway, she didn't swear unless it was a big deal. Anyway, really big deal. And she never, I think I'd only ever heard her use the F word maybe 3 times in her entire lifetime. So, different generation. Yes, it is. Anyway, point being is that you can do this yourself. There's only one person I will ever, two people I will ever train to do this. And I know exactly who they are, and they're not who you would think they are. So, yeah. Thing is he got out of my face. He was like, he literally, I was like, I will fight you. I have no problem in fighting you. I had none. I had no problem. And my friend on the phone, she was like, wow. She's like, you really stood your ground. And I'm like, yeah, you have to. You can't take any crap, because here's the thing. The second the fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a second they sense you have any fear whatsoever, you're screwed. You can never have fear with them, ever. Nearly cost me my life on one specific situation, because I had a millisecond of a millisecond of a millisecond. I mean, it was such a fraction of a fraction. You cannot. You absolutely have to stand your ground, and do whatever you have to. For me, all I had to do was I'm like, bring it, bitch. You want to take me on? Bring it, because I know who to contact, and I know how to fight. And energetically, I may not be this physical. This morbidly obese woman is a very different ball game in a physical fight. Very different ball game in a physical. I can do it, but if I have to. But that's not me. Can I defend myself? Yeah. Not an issue. Energetically, don't frickin' take me on. And they know that, because by that point, I had taken on an awful lot of really bad situations and entities and beings. And the other side knows, don't F with Nikki. And if she's protecting someone, you better back off. And it's not me being full of myself, because I'm like, screw that shit. I'm stating that if you have a situation where you have a being, an entity, a wannabe, or something like that, you don't give in. You don't back up. You don't back down. Period. It is for your life and whoever it is that you are protecting. After that situation, I'd already put a barrier around my mom's room and around my mom and me. But boy, did I put up a bunch of other stronger ones after that. And I was like, no way. I will not put up with that. I am not tolerating that. And there's no excuse that no. So, FYI, that's what you do. You do not stand down. You stand your ground for however long you have to. And it works. So, and you have to believe in yourself and what you have the ability to do. Nathan from the Quantum Show says, right, no fear, they exploit it. You better frickin' believe they exploit it. And they will do whatever they can to exploit it. It's a great way to say it, Nathan. Thank you. I think I missed something. Hang on a moment while I go into chat to see. One moment. Hi, Amy. Hey, my dear. Okay, so let me see what I have been. Oh, for Pete's sake. Did it again. I ended up highlighting everybody, and I did not mean to. I don't even know how the hell I did it. Okay, here we go. Okay. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Okay. There we are. Okay, whoops. My grandmother. Okay, so this is from Para. My grandmother. Oh my goodness sake, excuse me. Excuse me. If my grandmother admires flowers somewhere and didn't touch them, they would die. What is that called? I have not a clue. Got 13 in here right now, folks. Susie, some people can transfer their own energy into plants. Yeah, I do that. Just like how some can heal others. I don't know what it's called. I do know that there is a I do know there is a title for it, but I don't know what it's called. I am not schooled in that way. I'm not book learned in that way. Sorry, that's a slam. And anybody who knows me knows where it stems from. So I don't know. But I do know that there are terminologies for it, classifications for it. If you work with nature energy, you will be able to do that. I work with nature energy, and as you can see, well, you can't exactly see it, but that is a bloom right there. That's the first of the bloom on my cactus. I don't know. Maybe we'll be able to see it. Maybe. Yeah, you can see it now. Right there. That's one of many. That Christmas cactus. It's a Easter Christmas cactus. I don't remember which right now, but basically, yeah, I work with a lot of nature energy when I so choose. And I've had experiences with that. And the most recent experience with that was in September, when I had a fascinating experience where a tree literally took me down her roots and through the ground and up into a property that was miles and miles away. And so I was absolutely fascinated by what I was shown. Just utterly fascinated by it. So yeah, I do know that that can be done, but I have not a clue as to what it can be, what it's called. So I'm not the person you want somebody who is book learned, or has that kind of background and knowledge, because I don't do that kind of research. I did in the past. It's back in the back farthest sections of my brain, back in a file folder, locked away in a box. So locked away in a file cabinet. Not a clue as to what it's called. I don't keep up with that anymore. But I don't have any problems with anybody that does. I'm just saying that yes, there is words for it. And what is going on? Okay, there we are. All right. I gather that was, see, my thing is not, it's not. Para, looking at the plant without touching. Sounds like she was exacting a toll on the plant until she touched it to transfer the energy back. You can do any of that without ever touching a plant. It's how you work with human beings too. Hell, it's how you work with any being. So it all it all revolves around how you work with your own energy, and if you're a natural or not, or if you have to work at it really hard. I've been classified as being a natural at it. So I don't know how it's done. I just know that I do it and that I can do it. And my abilities are ever growing. They're getting stronger. So okay. Sumerian word for eye, says Amy. Hollow says, Nikki, you're welcome. Tim, good night, y'all. Busy day in the next few hours. Love you guys. Good night, Tim. Have wonderful dreams. Take very good care. Susie, wow. Amy, that thinks it's neat. Interesting, sir. Black dragon energy from the cosmos is the ancient energy that angels, elementals, demons, fairies, guides, etc. use. It is energy older than humans. Okay, you want to talk about energy older than humans? There are beings that I have met in this lifetime that have been absolutely incredible, and that I have known for, I was going to say 100 lifetimes, but I literally heard 1,000 lifetimes. Wow, that's a concept. That's a first. Okay, that's a mind bender. 1,000 lifetimes. That's a oh my god, life. That's a life bender. I don't even. It's almost inconceivable to me because I only remember 100 of them right now. Well, 101, 102, but I'm still trying to grasp those other two. But I'm just like, wow, it's a mind bender. But basically, what I remember is that it's quite the situation. I remember going as far back as certain councils before humanity was even a blip, before there was a planet Earth. There are certain things that I remember I don't talk about very often. I remember where souls come from. I remember different ancient races, ancient races. I remember, and I can't, I'm not able yet, is how I need to phrase that. I'm not able yet to be able to verbalize what is in my head, what I understand, what I know as those lifetimes, and to describe them to any degree of satisfaction to me, in how, what even makes sense to me. I remember things that would, unless you were there, unless you remember them too, and we had a conversation, people would think we would be stark raving Looney Tunes. For years and years, I used to be called a quality, credible witness with integrity. I had numerous attorneys calling me that when I was an advocate. So for me to allow myself to come out in public and state these things, to come out publicly and talk about this, it's a mind bender. It's a mind bender to me. There were reasons why I stayed hidden and silent. There were also levels of understanding that I was trying to wrestle with, trying to understand different things. I always used to call it the knowing. I used to call it my knowing or the knowing. It was always my gut intuition. It was just something I knew. Oh, then you need to get my DVDs, Hollow. You need to borrow some of my DVDs. Unless you're watching it on digital, or not digital, on Oh, I know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I just don't remember the words. That's all on Peacock. Yeah, I couldn't think of the internet based. Anyway, so Black Dragon, Nikki, remember the floating cities? There were floating cities, but they were on other planets. They weren't on Earth that I remember. I do know people. I do know people that remember. Hey, Ange, how you doing, sweetheart? I do remember. I do know people that have talked extensively to me about what they remember on the floating cities. I remember. Oh, good night, Hollow. Sweet dreams, my dear. I love you. So I do remember different things, but like I said, I don't talk about those publicly. There are things where I'm very not confirmed, very firmed up in my belief of my experiences and what I remember. Those are vague. They're not vague recollections, but they're vague memories. I have bits and pieces. Whereas when I was remembering Atlantis, I had huge chunks. And then I ended up meeting somebody else who described something, and I went, wait a minute, stop. Because I remember this, and you just put a major piece into my puzzle. That it not just they made mention of a specific color, and I went, holy crap. And it literally opened up my memory for other things. And it opened it up in such a way that I was like, wow. And it was so firm. I mean, I was there. It's like part of me is still, I loved Atlantis. And I think it's probably why I love Greece and Italy so much, because different sections of Italy remind me of it. Major sections of Greece, country Greece, remind me of Atlantis. The different aspects of it, and there are different aspects of other countries, but those are the only ones I'm going to say out loud. That remind me of Atlantis. So, I mean, we've had a gambit of subjects tonight. So, Black Dragon, a color that isn't a color that can be described. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that one. Okay, hopefully I don't cough up a lung. Goodness sake, that hit me hard. It's trying to fight it, and then I'm like, why fight it? God. Anyway, yeah, Ange says Atlantis, Santorini, big hit for me there. Yeah, me too. And it's not just Santorini, but yeah, I mean it's no, that's because I was coughing, dear boy. Anyway, so yeah, I mean there are so many aspects in each one of us has our own memories buried in our soul of lifetimes. I mean, we're hitting a lot of the same subjects that we really have talked about over the course of the last number of weeks, but they're so deeply involved. There's so many aspects of them. And why am I literally being shown? Oh God, now I can't think of the name of the character's name. Oh, they call him Big Red. Oh, what the heck? I cannot think of his name. See if I can. Oh, all right. I'm gonna have to type in Big Red because now I'm not thinking of. Nickname. Nope. Oh well. It's actually one of my favorite movies. It's not Clifford the Big Red Dog either. I was just gonna say that. It's not from that 70s show. It's a oh, and my glasses. Oh, yes, they are. It is. Let's see if I've got it up here. I don't know if I've got it out or if I've packed it away. I've been slowly packing and downsizing and doing different, very slowly, but it is getting done. It's a paranormal movie. Big guns, demon. Anyway, doesn't matter. For some reason, I was being shown him and was supposed to talk about. Oh, that's why. Hellboy, thank you. Thank you, Paramarv. Yeah, Hellboy. I am okay. Hellboy. Was supposed to talk about the Golden Army. I was literally shown him because then I was literally shown. So I was shown Ron Perlman, but then I was also shown actor Luke Goss as Prince Nuada, and then specifically Anna Walton as Princess Nuala. But what specifically I was shown was a scene with nature. And of course, I'm not finding it at this second. Anyway, we were talking about nature, and so I'm supposed to talk. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I'm supposed to talk to you about. Sorry, putting the glasses back away. I don't know where we're going to put them right now. There we go. I'm supposed to talk about nature and nature's energy and Mother Nature, quote unquote, Mother Nature. I don't quite exactly know why, but that is supposed to be a theme tonight. And I don't know if it's because she's being injured in many, many different ways, but also in whatever's going on, which delves into political, which I said I'm not going to get into that. But for whatever reason, nature is wanting to come in to be a theme right now, and I can feel it. Let's see if I can feel any more. Okay, let's see if we can do this. I don't know if I can do it, if I'm up for this tonight. Yeah, tree spirits. It's beyond tree spirits. We're talking Mother Earth herself. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Somebody's saying wakey, wakey. No, I don't want to wake anybody up. They're wanting me to talk about the energy and other people becoming more active. Okay, so if you are so how I'm going to word this is that if you are a gardener or a farmer or have a small farm of your own with animals on it, and I'm literally being shown an image of a wooden fence, like an old-fashioned wooden fence. A horse corral is what I'm being shown. And the horses, there's a number of horses in this corral, what I'm being shown with, and you walk up, whoever you are, and you walk up to this fence that is surrounding the horses, touch the fence, and the second you touch it, it will go down the ground. For whatever reason, they're talking about people like this because you've got energy coming out your hands. Reach down, grab dirt, grab dust. Well, it's not dust, but grab the dirt from the ground, pour it out from the hands. It's what I'm being shown, and I don't understand why, but there's something about they want people to be touching the ground, the earth, not potting soil. Not potting soil. Whether it's sand you're walking on a beach, whether it's a rocky beach and you're picking up rocks, they want you to get your hands into the ground. And yeah, it's more than just grounding though, Ange. What I'm seeing is they want people picking up Mother Earth's energy. You're right, it is grounding. I'm not discounting that, not by any stretch of the imagination. But it goes beyond that. And what I keep picking up is they want they want the cycle of energy. They want she wants you're exchanging energy when you're doing this, and there needs to be an exchange of Earth's energy with human energy that are on this planet. So if you are a garden worker, if you are just reach down, if you have dogs and you're taking dogs out, I'm literally being shown all these different things I'm talking about right now. I'm getting different visions right now. I'm being shown dog walkers along. At first it was at a dog park. Now it's along a cement path. Go off the beaten path, hold on to the dog with the leash in one hand, reach down, grab soil, and then release it back out. They're wanting you to get your hands dirty, but in a good sense. Picking up, you're literally exchanging energy with the earth. She wants you doing that she wants everybody doing that. There's something But it's healing. There's a healing for you as the human or as the off-worlders who are on this planet. It's for everybody. She wants an energy exchange. That's what I'm hearing. There needs to be an energy exchange right now going on. Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. It's not just gardeners and farmers. Farmers who are in I'm literally being shown machines. They're like she's like wanting the farmers out of the machines, reaching down, grabbing the soil that's in their fields and just literally picking it up and putting it back out, literally picking it up and sorting, doing this kind of action with your hands and letting the soil fall, then getting back in and doing the machine work. Home survivalists or home gardeners or home type farmers, same kind of thing. You're more active and more in with your hands. There's an energy exchange that needs to be talked about right now. It is grounding, but it's more than grounding. It's this energy exchange that needs to happen between the humans, or I'm going to say it this way, the ones that are living on this planet and in the planet underground. There needs to be an active, hands-on approach to Mother Earth instead of all the machinery. And I literally got told thank you, and that's it. Okay, wow. I'm wondering if that's the kind of thing that is needing to be done to revamp maybe the energy that's going on this planet right now, especially with the detrimental things that are taking place that I will not get into. But hurting, I literally heard the word hurting. How interesting. Anyway, Black Dragon, let's see. No, I think I'm going to go back from tree spirits. Yes, she is hurting. Too many people take from her and never give it back. Yes. And ground. Yes. Grounding. Black Dragon energizing the soil and Earth's electrical field to stop the interference. Yes. Nathan, been listening while driving. Awesome, Nathan. I'm glad you're able to do that. Thank you for continuing on with me. I appreciate that. Black Dragon, look up Zen meditation. There is an aspect of giving energy back to the earth. Nathan, sounds like retuning. Yes. Amy, sounds unusual. The mechanized agriculture was seen as more efficient. Yeah, it's more efficient, but it's not revitalizing the soil in a specific way. And I think she needs the hands-on approach. So, personally, if it were me and I were using machines like that, I would be doing the four corners of a piece of property by going in, digging with a shovel, getting my hands in that dirt that's in the ground, that's not on the shovel, but that's in the ground, and just going like this, and maybe putting my hands on the ground that's just been dug, and putting energy and doing that on all four corners of a piece of property, or six corners if it's in an L shape, or 2, 4, 6, yeah, 6 corners if it's in an L shape or whatever shape it's in, or if it's in a circle, then maybe in 8 pieces, Um, so, and just putting my hands in and just kind of doing kind of this thing, where the fingers are coming up and down and just, um, as you would with sand or with, I don't know, say a chunk of thickened, brown sugar, and you want to crumble it, and you're crumbling it. Um, I would go about doing that. That's revitalizing the boundary property, as well as then when you're working on the inside of it. Um, Very fascinating. She needs that energy from everybody. Um, and if you're in countries where it's nothing but dirt and sand, then get in and put your hands in and just dig down and go back up and like that and crumble and call it good. It's being done. Kind of a big deal. Fascinating, though. Really fascinating. Okay, excuse me 1 second, guys. Sorry. And that's what I get for drinking sparkling water. Anyway, so just that's something that I don't think I've talked about publicly. I mean, we have talked about bits and pieces of it, but nothing quite like that. It's interesting that what was used was a movie, to receive information, Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. I find that fascinating. If you don't know the movie, go in and oh, stop grumbling stomach. If you don't know the movie, go in and watch it. And there's a really, whoever wrote, I don't remember who the writers are right now, but whoever wrote it did a really good job regarding, Mother Nature and a specific section of it. Oh, Hollow, you're here. So anyhow, Black Dragon, your message was meant to be. Yeah, I kind of think so. With everything that's going on, I'm wondering, it's an energy exchange. Try saying that 2 times fast or whatever, 5 times fast, whatever. Wow, just rather interesting. So if you've got a piece of dirt, and it's not container, it's actually soil, put your hands down on it. I mean, I would say even if you can't dig into your soil, and you're listening to this during wintertime and the ground is frozen, I would, quite honestly, what I would do is I'd have, and if it's that cold, that means you're going to need to wear gloves. Personally, what I would do, and I have been known to do this, I will take a shovel or a spade or something like that, and remove the snow, remove the frost, and put my gloved hand, because I won't do it with bare fingers because that's not okay. And because I end up with ice cold fingers, and you could have all kinds of medical issues doing that. But if it's not where you can actually handle doing that, I put my hands down, gloved hands and all, and I've actually put them down on the ground before like that, and done energy, where I've done it that way. I've even done it with slippers on, not rubber soled slippers, but slippers that are fabric, and then you got to go change your socks and your slippers, throw them in the wash because they get soaking wet. But I've done that too, because I needed to ground and center, or I needed an energy circulation back from Mother Earth. So I've actually done that as well, and I recommend doing that if that's something that you can do. But potting soil, don't do it in potting soil. Black Dragon, Nikki, it is what I do. You can also transfer your energy through trees. Yeah, now I've been known, in the last 5-6 years, I've been known to actually, and I've never been a tree hugger before, until I started having very specific situations to where I've actually gone up to, like, trees have called out to me. And it's not a joke. If you're in tune enough, you can actually hear trees calling out to you, different trees. Or if you have a specific need, or specific energy need, or specific information that you need. I've actually gone up to a small grove of trees before, and say, who can I run energy with, or and I'll get told which tree. You can't do it with this one. This one can't handle it for whatever the reason is. But go to that one over there, or go to this one over here, and stay away from saplings. That's the other thing that I've learned, is you want a tree that's over 10 years old, if you're doing it that way. Amy, I thought Mother Earth was a phrase, not a cognizant being. Interesting. Yeah, she's a cognizant being. Every planet has a energy, a frequency in it, and that frequency has a name. I know our Keith Andrews calls her, I believe, Itzhak. I've never been given a name for her. I call her Mother Earth, or Mother Planet. Because that's what comes natural to me, Mother Earth. She's known as Earth, but I've never been given her name. Can be used as the name. I literally just got told that. But I've never, but I know that it's female. I know the energy is female. I don't know how I know that. I just know that I do. I know that the planet Mars is a male. The energy on Mars is a male. I was going to say I don't know about Venus, but I literally heard female. There's a frequency, and each frequency typically has some kind of gender, what we would know as a gender. Hang on a second. I'm getting congested. Hang on a second, guys. Excuse me, all kinds of things going on tonight. And I always ask to enter the tree's field. I had a wonderful experience with a very old tree in the forest. The pictures were amazing. The field of energy was like a rainbow. Fantastic, Ange. That's fantastic. Yeah, my most current one was just a mind bender to me. And then I've experienced a lot of different things, and had never experienced being transferred literally into the energy of the tree and being connected the way she was to the ground, and how she was able to transfer my higher consciousness from tree root to tree root to make it go mile. And I was just, boy, that was a mind bender to me. That just totally, it blew me away. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. It was just incredible. So yeah, tree spirit. Black Dragon says, wait till you see a tree spirit. They are beautiful. And Ange says, Black Dragon got a photo of one. That's really awesome. Truly, truly awesome. It's an incredible mind bender. Things that we humans do not believe are even possible are things that I'm experiencing, things like Ange is experiencing, things like Black Dragon are experiencing. It truly is a mind bender. It's more than what we can conceive of in our sciences. And we are so far behind in our sciences in comparison to other planets across our galaxy. That alone is cry-worthy. We really need to be much farther advanced, and I truly believe that we are. In many ways, it's just that you got deep government doesn't want it out for various safety or security issues or what have you, which I think is a huge, tremendous detriment to society and to our way of life. And I think, in my own personal opinion, that it's a detriment to Earth. And quite honestly, what I have been hearing whispers of, and a little bit more than just whispers, getting told various different things. The ETs, the off-worlders, are getting pretty sick of it. That certain governments, certain corporations are keeping a lot of that tech hidden. And I honestly believe that at some point they are going to really make their position known publicly, not just privately anymore. I think it's getting to a point to where if the governments and the deep governments don't stop effing about with control and greed factor, I do believe that the ETs will eventually come out and do something about it for them and push the subject. It's a major no-no in their organizations, so to speak, in their own governments. But I think that with the way things are going now, I think it's going to get really beyond. Sorry, I'm popping my toes. And I think it's going to get to be a really major issue for some folks. And my grandfather told me about them. I thought he was just telling me stories. I now believe in the impossible. So do I, Ange. I honestly, I do. After what I've seen and experienced in my life, how I was raised, thankfully, I'm critical thinking. I will do the critical thinking before I do, oh my God, that's paranormal. You've got to weed out what is fallacy, what is fake, what is lies versus truth, and things that are just deeply mind bending. It's you start making realizations how big of a deal that is. I heard on a show this week some information that just made me want to scream, and I was like, it's not worth your energy or your time, Nikki, because the information that was being put out was just like, you are somebody extremely well known. Why are you putting out this bullshit? And it was bullshit. Saying certain things were not even remotely possible when I've firsthand witnessed it. And I'm like, you got to get your mind beyond that level. You're literally doing yourself an injustice and inservice to have that kind of belief system. It just boggled my mind. Okay, so I need to go scroll up. Maybe not. Keep hitting this. Ever since they put this new button down here, I'm having problems. Okay. And my grandfather told me about them. I thought he was just telling me. Oh, I read that already. Black Dragon governments only want to control us. They fear. Yeah, they do have a fear. There's a deep, deep fear. Amy, I thought Mother Earth was okay, did that one. Amy, my idea was the planet was a terrarium on a big iron and nickel sphere. Nathan, I say Gaia or Earth. Black Dragon, she has many names. Biofields, that's where I'm trying to get to, and my mouse will not. And our biofields are commodity to these private entities. Mother Earth wants us to reconnect with her to stop the interference. Yes, I fully agree. Adventures with Beth. Hey, Beth. It's good to see you, dear. Hey, Nikki. Thank you. I appreciate that, Beth. My father told me a few unbelievable stories from ghosts, UFOs, giants, etc. Okay, see, there we go. Whoops, no. There we go. All right. And to Black Dragon, my grandfather told. Oh God, sorry, I got hair on my nose is driving me nuts. And to Black Dragon, my grandfather told me about the UFOs, orbs, fairies. He was a naturopath and a farmer in Greece. Oh yeah, awesome. Black Dragon to Ange. Let's try this again. Black Dragon to Ange. The most important thing is to believe in yourself and to trust yourself, but most of all, love yourself. Yes, I do agree with that. The more we do that, the better the better off we are. Oh, quit growling at me, stomach. You've had a little bit of food. Stop it. Anyway, so we're at 2 hours, 18 minutes in. I really am only going to go for a very short amount of time tonight because obviously you can hear I do need to eat. And wow, that just popped up. Okay, we're going to minimize that. All right. That was interesting. Okie dokie. Let's see. Amy, the International Space Station also known as the ISS, would be an interesting place 325 miles above the biosphere with an artificially created atmosphere water recycling system. Definite. And Black Dragon, I thoroughly believe in myself and love myself, have been going through a big growth period in the last 3 years. Yeah, so same here, Ange. Black Dragon, and the better we will understand the truth that is inside of us. Adventures with Beth. Black Dragon, on the 28th, I'm doing an investigation at an abandoned asylum, prison, the hospital. That's the full moon as well. I ain't scared of no ghosts. Laugh out loud. Black Dragon, Beth, are you going live? Adventures with Beth. I don't know yet. Interesting. Let me know how it goes, Beth. I would be quite fascinated in that. I'm literally being reminded to check email, which of course I have not done in a week. And normally I do that before I go live. Normally I do that a couple days before. So, but apparently that didn't happen. Okay, so no messages that I need to be dealing with. Okay, that's what I wanted to deal with. All right. Brightness into darkness. At the very least, I'll record it and put it up raw. Good deal. Oh, now we start a yawn. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I typically avoid places like that. I'm more into let me deal with pieces of property than, like residential or a hotel or hell, even a hospital, but specific kind of hospital or registered or whatever. Or it's interesting. Not every place I walk into, and I just made this comment to somebody Monday. I had to think of what day it was. So I made this comment on Monday about it's interesting that you walk into some place and not every place has a feel, in the sense of, oh, I'm going to be walking into a place that has ghosts and stuff. I always go in going, all right, what are we looking at? We're looking at an old house, and the whole reason why this came up was because somebody, there was a TV show on that I was watching, and I was getting very frustrated because people automatically go to the woo side, and I'm like, oh my God, there's so many aspects to this. There could be a draft in the house. There could be an electrical wiring issue. There can be, go through all the motions, all the avenues, all the science first before you start, unless you know for sure that it is a spirit or that it is a wannabe or some other entity or something else. I mean, do the checklist, go off the checklist. Is it this? Is it that? Is it, figure out, because there are so many aspects that can create different things that appear paranormal. I mean, you want to clear out all the negative BS, clear out the science stuff. Then science isn't BS, but clear out the science stuff first. Make sure that you got all your ducks in a row. Do your checklist. Check, all the way down the list. Go down the list. Anyway, I think that's where I'm at. Amy, I have always wondered why more modern facilities built in the last 50 years do not have many anomalies. Actually, quite a few of them do, but I think they're mild. I think they're more mild, Amy. In my opinion. Sorry, I'm trying to think if I had an allergy. I haven't had an allergy food. Why am I itchy? Oh, I know why I am. Okay. Ugh. I got itchy skin tonight. It's driving me nuts. Adventures with Beth. I always debunk myself. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. Black Dragonet. And there is a deeper truth in each of us. Never stop seeking it. Right on, Black Dragon. And Adventures with Beth. Have a safe investigation. What is your channel, Beth? Yeah, put it in, Beth. I will. Adventures with Beth. This is it. Okay, so I will. Let me see. Yeah. Whoa, that is seriously bright. Okay. Hang on a second. I will put the link in here in just a minute. I just want to be sure that I got the right. Yeah, I do have the right one. Okay. Here is Beth's channel. There you go. I just subscribed here. I think that I have another channel. Black Dragon, Amy, that Amy. Even a new home can be haunted. It can depend on the location, the land itself that holds the energy. Yeah, you're welcome, Beth. Um, yeah, that's very true. I've walked into vacant homes and go, wow, okay, there's a spirit here. And there have been times I've walked into, piece of real estate, and it's like, wow, this is an empty. I mean, like empty. There's no energy, no love, no vibe, no nothing. And you can tell when somebody has cleared stuff. So yeah, it gets rather interesting. Amy says, especially a modern industrial park. Oh my gosh, yes. There have been buildings I've walked into that were used for other functions at some point in time, and I've walked in and I'm gone, no, I want to walk out of here, but you can't walk out of here because you got an appointment, and it's kind of you've got to deal with it. Yeah, that's always fun. There's a medical building on a specific medical campus that I'm aware of that I'm like, every time I walk in to that building, there's a specific level. It's like only 3 or 4 story building. I think it's the third level, and I'm like, bad. I don't like this floor. I don't know what the hell is going on with it. I don't want to be here. First floor, second floor, not a problem with it, but third floor, no, don't want anything to do with it. And I'm like, wow. So, and then there's like if I'm on a city block, like walking up a city block, and you just like, whoa, what is with this piece of property? And wow, okay. So it is what it is. And then there are situations where I had somebody send me an image. They're like, my wife and I stayed at this hotel in this specific city, and um, or we're going to this, and asking me what I think, and I'm like, okay. Sometimes I don't get anything, and sometimes I get a ton of information. Or like, I had this gentleman, he and his wife were going to visit a specific haunted location, and um, he's like, "Are you getting anything?" I was like, "Just tell me. Don't tell me anything. I want to go in blind." Um, in answer to that, Amy, no. You can't. There's certain you can't even get on to those unless you have credentials. Um, Short answer to that, but I do know people that do, that are in the paranormal, but they've not mentioned anything to me about it. Anyway, so um, and I've gotten, oh my God, there's been a murder in this building, that was in the 60s or 70s, and in the 1800s there was this, and in the early 1900s there was that, and oh my God, this building. And then I'll ask, did you go up the stairs? Oh, there's another level up above that. I'm like, yeah. And here's where the entrance is. And it's because I was getting information from um, uh, different spirits, and it's fascinating. So, and I haven't even walked in the building. Usually I'm a hands-on girl where I like to touch the whatever the building is made out of. I'll put my hand on. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a doorknob. It can be the brick. It can be the brick of the building, and I could put my hand on it and go, "Wow, okay." And then there are times where I do that, and I'm like, "There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing." But yet the inside is covered with paranormal whatever. And then there are times where I'm like, "Stop the car!" What? You gotta stop the car. I gotta be at that building. I've got to get out of the car like now. And I'm drawn to a specific location. I mean, like hardcore drawn. And then of course I find out why later. It could be a wide variety of reasons. So okay, so I'm going to fully respond to this. Amy, Nikki, have you been to the Boeing plant in Everett, Washington, one of the largest buildings in the world? And that's where I said no. Amy says, I think the main building is 78 acres. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. No, I've known over the years, I've known a lot of people work for Boeing, or the other aeronautic, one that I always have a hard time with that, remembering the name of that one. But anyway, no, it's not that. Thank you though. Anyway, so, yeah, from what I understand, Amy, you've got to have certain, clearances to, work there and walk through there and all of that kind of stuff. I do know that different sections of Boeing, Lockheed Martin, yes, thank you, says Amy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I always have a hard time. I never remember Lockheed, but I always remember the word Martin. I always remember it as an M, but there's also another one that starts with an M. And anyway, but McDonnell Douglas, that's who I always think of. But yeah, Lockheed Martin. I know a lot of different people who've worked at all three. They've worked at Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and McDonnell Douglas. So, and a couple of them have actually said, "Oh yeah, you sign different. You can't talk," which is understandable for what they do, and I have no problem with that. Um, so, and I found out years and years later that a gentleman that I knew, he and his wife, he worked for Boeing, and he was a designer, airline designer, one of the hundreds of them that they've got, and I didn't even know about that until long after they moved out of state. So I mean, like years and years after they moved out of state. So because that was never discussed. He never talked about what he did. Not with his close friends, not with his family, nobody. Everybody just knew that he worked for Boeing. And it's how it is. So you come across folks like that. It's just how it is, folks. Anyway, and when you live in Seattle or Everett or Tacoma or wherever you're at, you can always expect at least somebody works for Boeing. Some fashion or form. So they do offer prearranged tours, mostly on their terms. Yeah. I've never really been interested for a wide range of reasons. So, but they've for the most part have been a good employer to a lot of the people that I know, and that I appreciate. But then you've got different situations where, like in the Pacific Northwest, you hear different news agencies are reporting about certain chemical issues, and I'm like, oh God, specifically for the workers, and I'm like, damn, okay. So you just hope it's a better situation for workers. I know who you're talking about. It took me a moment who you were talking about, Shell. Black Dragon. I only know bacon. Nothing else. Just bacon. Right on, Black Dragon. That was good. Black Dragon to Beth. Are you still have your crystals? Question mark. Black Dragon Amethyst. Anyway, on that note, I think I am going to quit. Call it a night, not to quit, but call it a night. 2 hours and 38 minutes. So I hope you have a very good morning, afternoon, evening, wee morning hours. Take very good care of yourself. And I will see you next week. Things are a little bit better for me right now. Thankfully, I've been having these on again, off again headaches, and it's all hormone based. So they've been really not fun. So anyway, take very good care of yourself, folks. Drink your water, whatever way you can get it in. And good night, Ange. It's good to see you too. Really, I appreciate everybody that's come in, very, very much so. And for those that are listening afterwards and watching afterwards. I very, very much appreciate you. I appreciate you following me and hitting the like button and just seeing what we talk about. There's a lot that we talk about. So anyway, I wish you adieu. Good evening, afternoon, morning. Take very good care of yourself. Bye, guys.